The scream cut through the dusty afternoon air like a blade, sharp and desperate, the kind of sound that does not ask for attention but demands it, because it carries a life on the edge, and that was how everything began when a small barefoot girl with dirt-streaked cheeks ran toward a line of roaring motorcycles parked near a roadside diner, her lungs burning, her heart pounding, her entire world collapsing behind her as she stumbled and nearly fell in front of a towering biker with a weathered face and a patch that marked him as a hell angel. And before the story pulls you any deeper, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and humanity showing up when it matters most, take a second to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this deserve to travel far. The girl's name was Lily Carter, only 7 years old, too young to understand cruelty yet old enough to feel it clawing at her chest, and behind her, beyond the rusted fence and dry field baked by the sun, her mother Emma Carter hung suspended by rough rope tied cruelly around her wrists and looped over a thick oak branch, her feet barely brushing the ground, her body swaying weakly as exhaustion stole her strength, because a group of men who ruled the nearby settlement through fear had decided she was a problem, a woman who spoke up, who refused to leave her land, who would not bow, and punishment in that forgotten place came without courts or mercy. Emma had raised Lily alone since her husband died in a factory accident years earlier, working 2 jobs, cleaning houses, fixing clothes, doing anything honest to keep food on the table, and when a local gang tried to force her off her small inherited property to expand their illegal operations, she reported them, believing the system would protect her, but systems often fail the quiet and the poor, and that failure tightened into rope around her wrists under the open sky while her daughter watched helplessly from the bushes until terror gave way to action and Lily ran. The biker she reached was named Jack Mercer, a man whose face carried scars from choices made long ago, whose arms were inked with memories he rarely spoke about, and whose eyes had seen violence but had not lost the ability to recognize innocence when it stood shaking in front of him, and as Lily collapsed near his boots, pointing back toward the field with frantic gestures and broken breath, something old and human cracked open inside him. Because he remembered being small and powerless once. Remembered a mother who never came home one afternoon, remembered how the world keeps moving even when yours stops. Jack did not hesitate or ask for explanations that could wait. He turned, lifted his arm, and with one motion called the attention of his brothers, men who had ridden together through storms and deserts, men who had been judged by patches instead of actions, and engines fired up one by one, the sound rolling across the land like thunder in daylight. 99 bikers followed Jack as they tore down the dirt road toward the oak tree, dust rising behind them, hearts aligned not by law but by instinct, and when the men guarding Emma saw the approaching wall of steel and leather, confidence drained from their faces because power built on fear collapses fast when confronted by something stronger, something united, something unafraid. Jack reached the tree first, his boots hitting the ground hard as he cut the rope with a blade he carried for utility, not harm, and Emma collapsed into his arms, gasping, bruised, alive, while Lily ran into her mother's side, clinging as if letting go would invite the world to hurt them again, and the bikers formed a silent circle, not striking, not shouting, simply standing there as witnesses, as consequences, as proof that cruelty does not always get the last word. Authorities arrived later, drawn by calls and the undeniable presence of so many motorcycles lined like sentinels along the road, and this time reports were taken seriously, names recorded, arrests made, because injustice hates attention and thrives in shadows, and Jack stayed until Emma was safe, until Lily's shaking slowed, until an ambulance carried them away, and before leaving, he slipped a card into Emma's hand, not asking for thanks, just offering help, because redemption sometimes looks like showing up for strangers when no one else does. The days that followed were not magically easy, but they were different. The bikers returned, not as avengers but as builders, helping repair Emma's damaged home, fixing fences, bringing food, standing watch until the threat was gone, and the community that once looked away began to look closer, ashamed and inspired all at once, while Lily started smiling again, drawing pictures of motorcycles and oak trees with green leaves instead of fear. Jack visited once more before riding on, kneeling to Lily's level and pressing a small wing-shaped pin into her palm, a symbol not of gangs or rebellion but of protection and choice. And if this story is moving something inside you right now, if it reminds you that goodness can come from unexpected places, please take a moment near the end to like the video, share it, and subscribe, because engagement helps these stories reach hearts that need them. Emma rebuilt her life slowly, stronger than before, carrying scars that told a story of survival rather than shame, and Lily grew up knowing that monsters are real but so are guardians, that labels lie, and that courage sometimes roars in on two wheels under a bright sky. And just before this story closes, we ask one special thing: comment below with a single word that describes how this story made you feel, because your words matter. And as the engines faded into the distance and dust settled back onto the quiet road, one truth remained clear: that day did not belong to fear, it belonged to a child's courage, a mother's resilience, and 99 men who chose to be more than the world expected, leaving behind not destruction, but hope.